A lot of people wonder if we're the only living things out there in space. For ages, we've wondered about aliens, watching far-off stars and guessing if life exists in other galaxies. Well, guess what? It might be real. The head of NASA just said that the James Webb Space Telescope, which is basically our best gadget for looking at space, has found something wild. Get ready for a big surprise from way, way out there. They found life on a planet called Proxima b. This could totally change everything we thought we knew. Let's check out what the Webb telescope found and what it might mean for us humans and checking out space later on. This telescope is a super cool piece of tech that can totally change how we see the universe. It's got awesome tools and it's in the perfect spot to let scientists get a much better look at faraway stars, galaxies, and planets. It might sound pricey, but this telescope can really do what it promises. One big deal is its 6.5-meter mirror. That's way bigger than the Hubble telescope's mirror, which we've been using for ages. The Webb's big mirror can catch even the faintest light from the darkest corners of space, places we couldn't see before. Researchers used to just guess about what old telescopes could find. But the Webb telescope lets them actually see those faraway things super clearly. Besides the huge mirror, the Webb has a bunch of other new tools that can see different kinds of light. One of these is the near-infrared camera, or NIRCam. It takes pictures using near-infrared light. This kind of light can pass through dust clouds that block regular light, so we can see farther into space. NIRCam has really good resolution, so it can spot stars being born inside galaxies from pretty close up. These pictures are meant to help us learn about where the universe came from, the first light, how galaxies are born and grow, and to find and check out planets that we couldn't reach before. Tools like NIRCam give us details about how the universe is put together, showing us how galaxies form and change over huge amounts of time, helping us understand what makes the universe work. Another tool on the Webb is the near-infrared spectrograph, or NIRSpec. It breaks up the light from faraway objects into different colors. This is called spectroscopy, and it tells us a lot about their temperature, movement, and what they're made of. NIRSpec lets scientists study stars and galaxies more closely by looking at the colors in their light to figure out what chemicals are there and how things are interacting. It can also help us understand how stars and galaxies live their lives, from when they're born to how they grow and die. One of the main things the Webb wants to do is check out faraway galaxies whose light has traveled for billions of years to reach us. By looking at the colors in their light, scientists can figure out how old they are, what they're made of, and other stuff, which can help us unlock the secrets of how they were created. The mid-infrared instrument, or MIRI, is another important part. It can see longer infrared light waves. It helps us study things like stars, planetary systems, and dusty areas where new stars are born. MIRI also lets astronomers check out the atmospheres of exoplanets, giving us info about what they're made of, how hot they are, and if they could be habitable. The places where stars are born are really interesting. These thick clouds of dust and gas block regular light, but infrared light can get through. Thanks to MIRI, researchers can watch stars and planetary systems being born and check out what's happening inside these nurseries of stars. MIRI is also important for finding exoplanets. It can catch and check out the faint infrared light coming from their atmospheres, telling us what their environment is like, including if there's water vapor, carbon dioxide, and other stuff that might mean there's life. When looking for signs of life on exoplanets, the Webb telescope mostly uses two methods, spectroscopy and checking the atmosphere. Even if a planet doesn't have obvious signs of plants or oxygen, which aren't always needed to find life, these methods are still super important. Spectroscopy, which is studying how an object absorbs or gives off light, is key to checking out exoplanet atmospheres. When a planet passes in front of its star, the Webb can see starlight passing through the planet's atmosphere, leaving tiny chemical signatures that can be used to figure out what molecules are there. The Webb uses two main tools for this, MIRI, which looks at mid-infrared light, and NIRSpec, which looks at near-infrared light. Together, these tools cover a wide range of light that's needed for a good study. When starlight passes through an exoplanet's atmosphere, it carries clues about what chemicals are there. The Webb figures out these clues to spot molecules that might mean life exists or conditions that could support life. By finding these special markers, researchers can make models to better understand the planet's atmosphere and climate. One big goal of the web is to look for biomarkers, which are compounds linked to life, like oxygen, methane, and water vapor. But finding these molecules is just the beginning. More observations are needed to see if the planet is habitable and if there's any sign of life. Another thing they do is comparative spectroscopy, which makes it easier to find life by comparing light data from different planets. By comparing them, researchers can figure out how likely it is that life exists somewhere other than Earth. What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts below. And if you liked this presentation, please like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. The web's skill at finding biosignatures in exoplanet atmospheres is a huge step in the search for alien life. Its special design lets it check out faraway planets in super detail. As scientists keep checking out the data, they're getting new ideas about how life could exist on other planets. The web's ability to look into the farthest parts of the universe lets us look back in time and see its earliest days. By catching light from galaxies that were formed billions of years ago, it gives us a chance to learn about how the universe has changed over time. These explorations give us info about how stars, planets, and galaxies were born and the complicated things that have shaped the universe. Besides finding life, the James Webb Space Telescope is really important for learning more about the universe. It can take super clear pictures of faraway galaxies, stars, and other space stuff, which helps scientists put together a timeline and design of the universe. With each new thing it finds, the telescope challenges what we think we know, pushing the limits of space research and helping us see what's beyond Earth. Looking ahead, the web will keep being a key tool for exploring the unknown. What it finds in the next few years could have a big impact on how we see the universe and how we travel and study space. As we go deeper into space and keep searching for alien life, the James Webb Space Telescope will definitely lead the way. In short, the James Webb Space Telescope is starting in space exploration. It can study faraway galaxies, find exoplanets, and look for signs of life, which is a big moment in our long search to understand the universe. With its great tools and abilities, the web is ready to change how we see space and the secrets of the universe. Maybe the coolest thing about the James Webb Space Telescope is how good it is at checking out alien atmospheres. It lets scientists find tiny things that could mean there's life on faraway planets. The telescope's tech lets us look at planetary environments really closely by finding important molecules like oxygen, methane, and water vapor. The web gives us a way to see if these planets could be habitable. It does more than just look. The web's functions let us compare them to Earth, helping researchers see if planets that are similar could also have life. By doing spectroscopy, the telescope breaks down light from faraway stars and planets, giving us a chemical makeup of those places. This is super important for seeing if a planet might have conditions to support life. It also opens up new ways to find habitable zones in the galaxy. The telescope also focuses on infrared light, which lets it find cosmic things that we couldn't see before, like stars being born in thick dust clouds or planetary systems first showing up. These areas where stars and planets come from are often hidden from telescopes that use visible light. The web can go through this stuff, giving us a look at the basic things happening in the universe. With all its tools, the James Webb Space Telescope is ready to solve some of the universe's biggest mysteries. It doesn't just find new planets. It helps us understand where we fit in the universe. The recent finding of life on Proxima b is just the beginning. As researchers keep looking at the data and doing more observations, we're about to see an epic unlike anything in space history. This telescope is opening anew where the question, "Are we alone?" might finally be answered. Another important tool on the web is the near-infrared spectrograph, or NIRSpec. It splits light from faraway objects into different colors. By looking at these colors, scientists can learn about things like temperature, movement, and what the object is made of. NIRSpec lets us study stars and galaxies in more detail. By looking at the colors of light they give off, we can figure out what elements are inside them and how these things interact. It helps us understand how stars and galaxies live, from when they're born to when they die. One of the web's main goals is to study faraway galaxies whose light has traveled billions of years to reach us. By looking at the light from these galaxies, we can figure out how old they are, what they're made of, and other important stuff. The mid-infrared instrument, MIRI, is also super important. It helps us see longer infrared light, which lets us study things like stars, planets, and dusty areas where new stars are forming. MIRI also helps scientists check out the air around exoplanets. This gives us key info about what's in their air, how hot they are, and if they could be good for life. The places where stars form are really interesting, too. These areas are full of dust and gas that block regular light, but infrared light can pass through. Thanks to MRI, we can watch stars and planets being born and learn about what's going on inside these areas. MIRI is also important for finding exoplanets. It can take pictures and study the faint infrared light from their air, which tells us about their environment. This includes whether they have water vapor, carbon dioxide, or other stuff that might mean there's life. When looking for life on exoplanets, the Webb telescope mainly uses two things: studying light and checking out the air. Even if a planet doesn't have plants or oxygen, which aren't always needed for life, these methods are still super helpful. Studying light, how an object absorbs or gives off light, is a big part of checking exoplanet air. When a planet passes in front of its star, Webb can see starlight passing through the planet's air. This leaves tiny chemical marks that we can study to figure out what molecules are there. Webb uses two key tools for this: MIRI, which looks at mid-infrared light, and NSP, which looks at near-infrared. Together, these tools cover a wide range of light that's important for complete study. When starlight passes through a planet's air, it gives us clues about what's in that air. Webb figures out these clues to find molecules that might mean there's life. By finding different light markers, scientists can build models to better understand the planet's air and weather. A big goal for Webb is to find biomarkers, which are things like oxygen, methane, and water vapor that are linked to life. But finding these molecules is just the start. We need more observations to see if the planet is livable and if there's any proof of life. Another method scientists use is comparing light data from different planets. This helps scientists make better guesses about whether there's life beyond Earth. What do you think about all this cool stuff? Share your thoughts below. And if you liked this content, hit like and subscribe. See you next time. Webb's power to find signs of life in exoplanet air is a huge step in the search for life outside Earth. Its special design lets it study faraway planets in amazing detail. As scientists keep looking at the data, they're finding new clues about whether life exists on other planets. Webb's ability to look deep into space lets us see the past and watch the universe's early stages. By capturing light from galaxies that formed billions of years ago, we can study how the cosmos changed. These studies give us important info about how stars, planets, and galaxies appeared and the events that shaped the universe. Besides finding life, the James Webb Space Telescope also helps us learn more about the universe. It takes really clear pictures of faraway galaxies, stars, and space stuff, which helps scientists figure out the history and look of the universe. With each new discovery, the telescope changes what we thought we knew. As we go deeper into space and look for life, the James Webb Space Telescope will most likely lead the way.